Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Yoko and Frisky's Dimensional Rip! Can't press the button right now. And we have my brother from another mother and a special guest, Frankie, with us today, here to discuss the subject matter of the CW, Cow Wash TV. How are you folks today?
I'm
doing okay.
He's doing great.
I'm quarantined right now because there's a pandemic happening. But you know what I have superhero movies and superhero TV to keep me company. So
sounds great.
There's a pandemic happening?
Pandemic. The board game. You can play it at home.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that game. I'm doing great. Guess who finally got weekends off? Woo!
Yeah, moving up in the world.
Jealous as hell, man. Jealous as hell.
I got weekends off and everybody's afraid to go outside. That's my luck, baby. Yeah.
Versus me, I can't get off work. And it's not even important like the grocery store. Mm-hmm.
Yo, those old people need to see artifacts. They need to see things that look like them.
Wow.
That's a very controversial thing to say, but I'm glad you were brave enough to say it.
Oh, I'm very brave. I try to be brave, for my family's sake and all of Puerto Rico, But yeah. Anyway, I have this interesting topic that's been on my mind for a while. We've been trying to get Frankie on the show for quite some time, but Sonic overshadowed that. But now that he's out of the headlines, we can talk about stuff that we wanted to talk about for like 2 months. We're going to talk about the current state of, the superhero media. And we're going to ask the question, is superhero fatigue a real thing?
Oh, no.
And to start off, me and Frankie actually, we had an in-depth discussion, but we're going to talk about a little bit of Crisis on Infinite Earths. So for those of you who haven't seen it, spoilers ahead. Instead of like going episode by episode, I thought maybe we could just list our pros and our cons. What do you say, Frankie?
I mean, yeah, I'm down for that.
I'm the blind one of the group. I tried on my CW app. I'm not sorry, because I'm eating. Guys, do it at home. Eat. Anyway, yeah. I tried watching it on the CW app, and it kept giving me one episode, and I was like, what? Why? You give me the rest. Okay.
Well,
So,
I told you the order to watch it in. You have to first you have to start with Supergirl, then it's Batwoman, The Flash, Arrow, and then Legends.
I don't know what I had to do, but for some reason it just kept only giving me one episode per series. I don't know. And then I just gave up. I should just watched it online the way I was supposed to. Anyway, go ahead. I'm just going to watch it on my tablet. Didn't work. So what was it about? What was this adventure? Give me a summary as a whole for the audience who's blind to definitely Caucasian television.
You wanna go for it? You wanna give the synopsis?
I think you could do a better job than me.
Okay, so
because I can't remember.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. The culmination of, I guess, 6. How many seasons did Arrow have? 6, 7?
8. The Ocho.
It's 8, right? It's 8 seasons. So
yeah.
It's a combination of 8 seasons, and it's pretty much full-length exposure of other media that he brought into the fold. So pretty much, because of Arrow, we got The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, even though it started off on a different network, Batwoman, and it pretty much brings everything together into what it's supposed to be the biggest crossover event of all time, especially with the departure of Stephen Amell as the character of Green Arrow, because this was supposed to be his send-off. The show is pretty much we've learned that there's multiple realities. We've been told this in the Flash TV shows, that there are other Earths out there that are slightly different than ours because TV budget. And we're meant to know that the end is coming to all. A big cosmic entity says, "Hey, guys, everything's gonna be destroyed. I need you to do what you do, which is fight choreography and CG effects." And so it was supposed to be this big overarching story where Oliver Queen sacrifices himself to save the universe. Every hero bands together to be triumphant in the event, in the face of death, and they are supposed to come up and win at the end, where all universes are destroyed and then brought back together as one. This is again a classic story to which DC Comics did back in the 80s, called the same name, Crisis of Infinite Earths, when they decided they had too many freaking superheroes and way too many different Earths out there. You know, Batman from multiple different factions, a Robin that stayed Robin into his 30s.
Oh, my gosh!
Yeah, they decided, you know what, screw this. We have too much of this crap, so we're gonna destroy everything and restart fresh. All under the banner of basic Superman. That was when Crisis ends. Superman becomes the sole Kryptonian. There are no other, cats, giant gorillas, and horses that have superpowers and capes. It becomes one full universe. Green Lantern's out there. Batman's been around for a while. It just becomes very streamlined. Over time, it becomes very convoluted, as we all know, in Crisis, 2006, Jeff Johns. But yeah, the main crux of the story, because I'm going way too long in this because it's freaking too fucking convoluted, is that universe ends, Green Arrow dies, new universe, everyone's together, and that's pretty much what's supposed to happen.
All right, I'm gonna break it down for the simpletons out there. It's the Diet Coke version of Avengers Endgame.
Wow!
I mean, yes and no.
That reveals everything.
Again, yes and no. That's a very, very oversimplification of that.
Yeah, but teachers love Diet Coke. That's like their drink of choice.
That's true.
It tastes like movie theater floor. All right, so the CW's version of Crisis on Infinite Earths was 5 episodes, span across Supergirl, Batwoman, Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. So, overall, Frankie,
it was more than 5 episodes because there was a break and then it came back for 2 episodes.
No, it was 5. It was 3 in the beginning and then 2 at the end.
I forgot that.
And everybody and their mom is in the crossover. You have Elongated Man, who stands there, and I think he has 3 lines. They're very crucial to the story, but he has 3 lines. And they forgot.
Again, the biggest problem with the whole Crisis is that this is my opinion on the show. You can love the show, all these shows, as much as you want. Any listeners out there are a big fan of the CW, superhero universe. I am too. I watch these shows all the time. However, I can't be critical about them because they're literally written 3 months before they shoot, and then they
wow,
and then they go out of their way to go, hey, we've been talking about this for years. It's you have not. You've literally had an idea. No one has written it until literally day of. And then you go out of your way to make a storyline that's supposed to be the greatest end cap to an 8-season run. No one from beginning of the season of Arrow, where he's breaking people's necks, saying this is what I have to do.
This is how it's gonna end.
Ensure that my secret is safe as I punish corrupt billionaires for failing my city. So hey, I have the powers of God, and I'm going to create a universe.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off positive. What did you like about it?
Myself?
Yeah, what did you like about it?
I like the balls they had to try to make it.
You like the fact
they gotta fix the DC Universe movie universe, which is really kind of crappy still.
You like the fact that they've tried.
Yeah, the fact that I can say that the DC television universe has always been, for the most part, enjoyable. The movies always have a misstep and fuck up every now and then, but the TV universe, their TV programming, their animation series, their television, their live action shows are normally always really enjoyable to watch because again, it's a long running format, so you get to know the characters a lot longer. In a movie, you have an hour and a half to figure out who the fuck Barry Allen is or who the fuck Aquaman is. In these shows, you have full seasons dedicated to what their character arcs are.
I think Aquaman pumped my gas last night, or it was a guy that looked like Aquaman.
Ooh.
No, word. Jason Momoa's doing good work, man. That man's a saint.
He's a humanitarian. He's so brave.
I love Jason Mimosa. It's my favorite drink.
I don't know. I had nothing for them.
No, it's fine. I had to do that for that one guy who's all like, Yoko's stupid. See? She said Jason Mimosa was a drink. I mean, oh no, I'm saying it too.
I mean, he is. He's a cool drink of water.
Ooh, girl. Let's go.
That's right.
Gross. Anyway, I liked the first episode of this crossover. I think it was well done because, first of all, put in context, they've been hyping this thing for a full year. Like the hype was off the charts. So I'm thinking.
Going from different convention centers to convention centers, saying like, "Oh, look who we're bringing back! We're bringing back the original Robin from Batman '66. We're bringing back, we're bringing back Homeboy from Batman '89. You know, the reporter. We're bringing back Huntress from the failed one season Birds of Prey television show.
Whoa. You're right.
Yeah, they were hyping the crap out of it. So you are correct. They were out there saying like, hey,
oh yeah,
this is gonna be big. This is gonna be the biggest thing you're ever gonna see from us.
And you know, it was big on a CW budget. It was big. I love the Huntress cameo where she's basically like running on a rooftop and then she goes to tie her shoe and that's it.
The sheer, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. The sheer fact that they convinced her to put back the leather-cladded pants and jacket to jump off I don't know, some construction building in the middle of Toronto is fucking crazy.
Dang.
Yeah. Let's go through these cameos because they're so short. There's a Titans cameo where Robin's looking at a sunset.
That's not even a cameo. That was literally they pulled footage from the show Titans and said it was a cameo.
Oh, and it was like literally a scene that they just put a red tint over.
Yep.
Wow. Plagiarism. DC's plagiarizing themselves. Who else?
They're bored. They gotta do it.
You had old ass Robin walking his dog. You had
Burt Ward.
Yeah, who was the guy from Batman '89's world? Was that the Commissioner Gordon?
His name was like Don something. I forgot. I think that's a character's name. I'm forgetting the actor's name, which fails me. But yeah, they brought him back to sit on a park bench, looking at a newspaper, asking where Batman is, and then looking at the bat signal and see the rest of the guys and go like, "I hope you're out there, Michael Keaton. Because right now we could use your geriatric to help." So.
Oh man, but let's the best cameo. Freaking Tom Welling, Smallville, Superman. He was there. Yeah. Oh. Well. Let him.
Can I preface this? Like, let me say this.
Yes.
I have to preface it. The fact that they brought back Tom Wellings to be Clark Kent, Smallville Superman again for 10 years. The actor has said multiple times that he would not replay that role or ever wear the costume in any facet. He would not come back to this role because he felt that the story was done. That there was really no reason for the character to ever come back. Both him and Michael Rosenbaum have both said multiple times in interviews, going like, "Hey, yeah, there's no real reason for us to come back unless the story is good, unless there's something there to bring us back." When Michael Rosenbaum was approached, he was told, "Hey, do you want to come to be in Crisis as a cameo?" He asked, "Cool, what will my character be doing?" They said, "We don't know."
Yeah.
Where's my character? What reasoning would he be in this crisis? They said they don't know. So he said, "No thanks. I will not be in this crisis because I feel there's no reason for me to return for something that is literally a question mark."
Good. Michael Rosenbaum is smart.
Yep. Tom Wellings again had the dude had been out of the limelight for a good half decade before, after Smallville ended. He was not an actor. He literally went off, started got married again because he was divorced, and decided to just start a family. He didn't act for many years until he came back for Lucifer, And then all of a sudden, he was asked to be in this crisis crossover, and he said yes. So everyone was waiting with bated breath as to what drew him to return as a character.
Yes.
Because again, it had to have been something special. Something had to have been so inspiring for him to come back to do this. So yeah, I had to pretty much preface it. You're bringing up Tom Welling.
So his cameo, the much awaited, long anticipated cameo, this motherfucker's chopping wood on his farm.
Ooh, every girl's dream.
Yeah.
Rolled up sleeves.
Yeah.
He had the nice fade cut.
He had the freaking lumberjack.
Also wore the classic plaid red shirt from Smallville.
Yes, the bounty tower man.
Yeah, he looked like the Brownie man.
Yeah. So, and Lex Luthor shows up because Lex Luthor at this point in the story, he's killing all the Superman across the multiverse. So he shows up.
We have to bring up, this is Lex Luthor from Supergirl, played by
John Cryer.
Yeah, John Cryer, who played Lenny Luthor in Superman 4. Quest for Peace.
Oh, this is a nerdy episode.
Quest for Peace. Look at you. Look at all the knowledge.
Yeah, I'm a DC nerd.
He's a
I'm
beast.
gonna say this right now.
This is why we brought you on.
Yeah.
But
it's exciting because I know more about the animation side, but because DC does have good animation, and then like I found that they didn't skimp on the animation in terms of writing and plot, but their live action, I'm like, honey, why? Why? All right, continue.
Baby girl, why? So his cameo, he's chopping wood. Lex Luthor shows up, and he's like, "What? You're basically like I haven't seen this in a while, so I might get some details wrong. But he's like, you're not Superman. You can't be." And he's like, "I was."
No. I love the way he brings it up because he shows up. He goes like, "Hey man, listen, I'm Lex Luthor." He goes like, "Nah."
No, you're not Lex.
He's like, "No, I'm Lex Luthor. As much as I know that you are Superman in this world's version of superheroes, Clark Kent is Superman," and he scoffs at it because he still cannot believe that Clark Kent is Superman in any reality. So when he sees the one reality where he fully knows that Clark Kent is Superman, he's like, "Nah, not back in my world. That's not true."
Wow, guy's in denial about his boyfriend.
Yeah.
But this is also to to bring it up. The way the story structures it is that because TV budget, every universe is slightly different. So every face is slightly assigned different names. So you'll see the same actor but playing a different name in a different role because the character has played a different role. So hence Brandon Routh, the Superman from Superman Returns, reprises his Ray Palmer in Legends of Tomorrow, the Atom, reprises his role as Superman in the Crisis event. So he, even though people go like, "Hey, that's Ray Palmer," he goes, "No, I'm Clark Kent." So it's weird.
There's three different actors playing Superman in this crossover. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And one of them, the one we're talking about right now, Smallville Clark Kent, he gave up his powers to start a family with Lois. Aww.
Lois Winslow.
So,
but I forget. Goddamn, I'm forgetting her name. But played by the original, by Smallville Lois Lane, who also plays the aunt to Supergirl in the show Supergirl. So.
God, this is hurting my brain.
Yeah, she also plays two different actors assigned two different names.
But yeah, my takeaway from this, Smallville Superman is so boring that he doesn't wear the suit. He's just chopping wood. Like, it's the most Smallville cameo you can get. Because this dude is like, he never gets to like truly become in that whole series like Superman until like the last 5 minutes of that series. And then you're like, all right, we're going to revisit this awesome character. We're going to see him do Superman stuff. No, he's just doing chores.
Which is funny because taking into account the 10 years that Smallville has been on, like that have been on the air, it was the story of Clark Kent becoming Superman. Like that was it. Like the main crux of the story was that he can't become Superman early in the show, mainly because he wanted to become Superman. That's it. The story's over. He becomes Superman. You already know who Superman is. He flies, saves the world, does all this stuff. That's what Superman does. That's cameo was, how I would have thought that some Marvel cameo was going to come to pass. Like how Tom Welling, who played the character of Clark Kent for 10 years, and technically for a generation of people, is their Superman. Like, he is their Superman. 10 years is a long time. So a generation grew up watching this guy on TV, and he was their introduction to the character, their version of the character, and how this Crisis crossover had to amplify that. They had to not deify, but to acknowledge the impact this character had on television, on the character of Superman.
Well, they dropped the ball there.
Yeah, so I was trying to say, I was trying to figure out how they would do this, how they would do justice to this character, how they would bring it up, because I was thinking he was going to be like the wise sage. He was going to bring up advice to the characters as they came in, saying, "Hey, I know full well what you guys are going through. I've been Superman, even though I've it's off screen. I have been this character, because the moment he becomes Superman, we know his story. Like, he has done things of this nature. He's saved the world. He has fought Darkseid. He has done a bunch of good. So he knows where these characters are and how he can best relay advice to them. Even though he doesn't need to put on the suit, he can give them at least some knowledge that they can take with them. And mainly to the character Tyler Hoechlin, who plays Superman in the Supergirl show, about to get his own show soon. Him and his Lois Lane are getting their own spinoff and everything. Because the beginning of their story, of the Crisis storyline, you learn that Tyler Hoechlin's character is in a city in space with Lois, living amongst Kryptonians, and having a family. Like, he has no powers out there. He's having a family. Him and Lois have
no way. They touched up on that? Because, I remember seeing, I don't know if it was the Justice League that touched upon that once upon a time ago, or if it was an actual Superman episode. And I know for a fact it was in a comic, but, they're really touching on all of it continuously.
Yeah, they're bringing what I do enjoy about current Superman storylines into the fold, into the shows, because Superman right now is a father. He has a son, John Lane Kent. He's a super dad, and he's at his best right now because of how good he is a father. So we showcase Tyler Hoechlin's Superman out in space with Lois having a baby, and he sort of doesn't know what to do right now, because he's like, I want to have this life, but I don't know if I can have this. I don't know if I deserve to have this life. And his touchdown in that episode is touched on in the very next episode, after he loses he loses his reality, and he jettisons his son in a rocket ship to try to save him like his parents did. So he has this whole there's a through line storyline where the Supergirl Superman is having conflict with, because he knows his life is so chaotic, he doesn't know he deserves to have a family, and bringing a kid into this world, and then that kid is jettisoned to alternate Green Arrow future.
Oh yeah,
Oliver Queen with one arm. Again, you think this is gonna go somewhere, and it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there's a lot of weird decisions.
There's a lot of choices made in these shows that you think are cool. You're bringing up stuff that I guess will make more sense later,
But it doesn't.
And it doesn't at all. All they did that for was to explain that the future Oliver Queen with one arm is a different universe now, rather than the actual set future of Oliver Queen.
Oh yeah, because the time travel is changing the future constantly.
So we don't get that Connor Kent wearing a Green Arrow costume anymore. Anyway, so again, I'm thinking this has to come to a head at some point. I'm thinking, cool, Tyler Hoechlin's character is having a crisis of trying to figure out if he could be a good parent. He goes to Smallville Earth with Lois Lane and Iris for whatever fucking reason, and they are there for literally half a second until they are teleported away by Lex Luthor, who then goes off to try to kill Smallville Superman. At no point does the Smallville Superman actually interact with Tyler Hoechlin's Superman and to give him any sort of, hey, listen, I gave up my powers after having kids. I have 2 kids. He has 2 daughters. I know where you're coming from. You're gonna be a good guy. never does that character interact with that guy to give him any sort of reassurance of where he should be in life. Not once.
Wow.
So,
Frankie, are you telling me that the CW has lousy writers?
What?
The problem is that they have competent, like sometimes competent writers. The problem is that the writers themselves do not talk to each other. And again, that's the problem because every episode is written by a different guy. Even this Crisis show was written by 5 different people. So it's neither of them ever are only getting footnotes of the other guy going like, hey, here's what a character is, and here's where I leave him to you.
Oh my gosh. No, you're right. I think Tyler Hoechlin and Tom Welling, they should have had one of those those hallway chats. Like, I need to talk to you. You know, they just needed a hallway. And, you know, Star Labs, that's the place where they have those talks where...
I feel like at least the 3 Supermen should have at least had some sort of conversation.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to talk about Crisis all day. So I'm gonna go quickly through what I liked. I liked the first episode of Crisis. I think they set the stakes really well, and it was exciting. And I was like, "Oh snap!" And then
for every second he fought, a million lives saved.
Yeah. The final battle with the shadow demons from Harry Potter.
I'm sorry. Again, they never explained them. They never brought them up. They don't go like, "Hey, he has an army of fucking shadow demons." Like, it's like they all up front again be beaten by a punch to the face.
Yeah.
What they need.
Oh, I'm gonna get that. I just want to talk the positives first before I get into all that. I'm gonna get through these positives. So the first episode was dope. At the end, Oliver Queen, he gave his life. He sacrificed himself so like people could get off Supergirl's world. And when he died, the first time he died, because this motherfucker died twice. It was emotional, and I felt it. I was like, damn, like, wow, they really pulled a fast one. Like, he's going out in the first episode. And I felt it.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye. So I felt it. And then I like John Crye's Lex Luthor. He did a great job. He was very
he's fantastic.
He was great. They brought him back with that book, and even though I didn't understand why, I was like, I'm glad they did, because, he injected some flavor into the show. Because a lot of Crisis just, like, alright, I'm just going to go into cons now. A lot of Crisis is stuff happening off screen. Like, the whole universe is disintegrating, but we don't really see the impact of it. We just hear people like, oh, Earth 56 just got wiped. Like, Earth something just got wiped. And I want to see it. And then another thing I liked was Brandon Routh came back as Superman, and he did a great job, man. The dude was ripped, and when he showed up,
I do enjoy his character coming back as Superman. I sort of find it a little bit dirty of what his character sort of becomes, because he's to anyone who doesn't know, he's the Kingdom Come version of Superman. He is the Alex Ross drawn version where he's in mourning the fact that he loses his entire family. He loses Lois, he loses Jimmy, he loses Perry White. The whole thing happens. So he is a Superman who has gone through heavy loss. So that means the Superman from Superman Returns, after he is in with a son and Lois and all that stuff, that Superman suffered tremendous loss after that movie.
Oh yeah.
And technically, you're supposed to think that Superman's also Christopher Reeve's Superman. So technically, the Superman that we watched from Superman 1, the movie, all the way to Superman Returns, all the way to the TV Crisis, loses Lois Lane.
Yeah. Oh no, his love of his life.
Yep.
Yes.
And his kid, maybe? I'm not entirely sure.
The Superman in this crossover get pretty much their ass kicked. Like, if you're Superman in this universe, you're pretty much screwed. But I love that he came back. He looked great, and I thought he was going to be like a big part of the story moving forward. But literally, Lex Luthor literally writes him off the show.
Because in a tremendous, amazing play. I'm like, that's a good play. I really hope he comes back though, because that's a fucking waste.
to put into context, there's these 7 paragons that needed to like fight the anti-monitor.
Sure.
So
There's a prophecy someone wrote somewhere about 7 paragons.
Superman, Brandon Roth Superman was one of those paragons, but Lex Luthor has something called the Book of Destiny, which can basically like rewrite reality and stuff. So he rewrites Superman out of the show, and Lex Luthor is now that paragon. What was it? The paragon of what? Truth. Which was hilarious, and it's such a Lex Luthor thing to do. But it's like I wanted to see more Brandon Roth Superman. He kept showing up before that saying like, "Oh man, like I gotta keep trying. I gotta keep fighting." I'm like, "What are you doing? I want to see what you're doing." It's frustrating. And then you had Kevin Conroy show up.
The animated series Batman from the 90s. He is the voice of Batman. The voice of Batman for, again, had been probably like 15 years, 20 years?
Connor? What's his name?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
You
just make me want to play the Batman.
Arkham.
Yeah. Arkham City is my favorite game.
I love Arkham, like Arkham Origins, even though it's not Kevin Conroy, it's one of the best Batman games out there. A lot of people did shit on it, but trust me, it is a good ass game.
No,
Which game?
Origins.
Got it. Yeah,
so Kevin Conroy, this is his first time playing an on-screen, live action Batman. And they decided to make him like a fucking psychopath Batman that killed that Superman on his Earth.
They make him into Kingdom Come Batman, basically. His body is broken. He's wearing an entire exoskeleton to keep him upright.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. He has a manservant in his home.
He has sexy
fuckboy John. Fucking
what's
Lucas
his
Fox.
Yeah, sexy Lucas Fox.
Sexy? What? Wow.
He shows up at the door with like his shirt off.
He has an open shirt, a gold chain. He speaks in gangster speak. It is the weirdest interpretation. Again, because TV show budget, they have to pull for the cast they have. So for whatever reason, they decide to incorporate a character, Luke Fox from the Batwoman show, as Batman's manservant because apparently maybe Alfred is dead.
Okay.
And there is and apparently Robin, Dick Grayson, and all of them are nowhere to be found. Which again I find fucking weird. You can easily hire a fucking extra and be like, hey, you're gonna play a guy named Dick Grayson. Just walk around.
For real.
They have sexy, almost shirtless Luke Fox pull out a Glock and be like, what up?
It's so true. And all right, so Batwoman goes to see Bruce Wayne.
They're looking for the Bat of the future.
Yeah.
The paragon of courage.
And then when Batwoman finds out Bruce Wayne's a little cuckoo and crazy, you know what he does? All she does is like kick the dude and he into like a freaking electrical outlet and he fries.
Before that, Supergirl shows up and then Batman decides to quote Frank Miller's Batman from Batman Returns into like the world doesn't make sense. Your parents, sent you off or whatever to like be a beacon of hope. My parents taught me a lesson that the only way the world makes sense if you beat it into making sense. So he's about to kill Supergirl, and Batwoman was like, no, and it kicks him into like an open generator, and then in his dying breath, Batman goes like, hey, Kate, yeah, there's no hope. Fuck this, bye, and it dies.
Wait a minute. Where did the generator come from? So they have a cameo of a generator, but they can't have a Robin? All right.
They were in the Batcave.
An open generator in his makeshift Batcave, which is so goddamn tiny. But whatever.
Yeah, so that's another wasted cameo. Ones people were looking forward to.
A lot of people were looking forward to it. And I can only assume that Kevin Conroy wanted to do it because, one, he'll get to play a live action Bruce Wayne, but two, also he loves playing characters against type. So he does love to play. He played the hero for 20 years. He'd rather play the villain. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's always interesting to see an evil Batman, but
No, I'm not mad about him being evil. Like that could have been interesting, but
make him matter rather than letting it be the B plot of a show. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like if it was like a story arc on Batwoman, it would work, but not as like a quick thing just to give Kane. Kate's. They did that just to be like, Kate, you're the paragon of hope or whatever. I don't know. I can't.
Which I love. The Monitor is such a fucking not the Answer Monitor, the regular Monitor, the monitor for the show is such a fucking lip dick fucking waste of a character. He shows up and is like, listen, there are 7 paragons. You must find the bat of courage or the bat of the future. You must find. So they go out of their way to find the whole thing, and then she comes back distraught and fucking suffering from like
trauma
that her cousin dies. It goes like, yeah, there is no fucking bat of the future. Hope is dead. He goes like, no, you found the bat of the future. You are the bat of the future.
Like Batman Beyond?
Yeah, no. Well, technically, she's Batwoman, so she's the new Batman. So she's a new Bat person. So she is the Bat of the future. She is the new Bat. She's the future.
No way. Yeah. Okay, time out. We gotta stop because there's an agenda here.
You think?
I mean, this is scary, guys. First, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Men bad, woman good.
Yes.
Listen, I know bats are crazy, man. Their agendas are coming out there. Bat this, bat that, bat car, bat plane.
The agenda is against elderly people.
The bat horse and the bat dog.
Yo, Bat Dog is great. No one shit on fucking Ace. Ace the Bat Hound is the greatest thing ever created.
I was not shitting on him. I love Ace. Actually, I was wrong. There was Super Horse. That I will shit on. Sorry, guys. There should not be a Superman horse.
Yes, I agree. There should not be a Superman horse. Or a cat with a lightning bolt.
That's okay. That's okay, because you know what? That cat should reproduce and take over the world. Okay, let's put it this way. If Streaky was sentient and would take over Superman...
I mean, technically, Streaky is sentient. Knows full well what it's doing. No.
Cats would go for the ankles every time. It would be crazy. It would be crazy.
I agree.
Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back. All right, while she's gone, we're going to keep nerding out. All right, let's talk about the 90s Flash taking Barry Allen's place.
John Wesley Shipp. The Flash from the 90s, CBS 90s show. Who's great. I love the guy.
Yeah, I love that scene of him on the treadmill taking his place. But the thing is, like, for the Flash, like, you've been watching for 6 years, knowing that, oh man, Barry Allen's gonna vanish from Crisis. Oh no!
Since day one, the show had the Future newspaper, which showcased in the year 2026 or some shit like that, or 32. I forget what year it is. The Flash disappears in Crisis. He against Zoom, against Professor Zoom, or the Reverse Flash. I would say. No one knows him as Professor Zoom on the show. He's a Reverse Flash. He disappears in Crisis, never to be seen, because years later we even get the future storyline with Nora, his daughter, that the Flash never comes back, which is an interesting premise. Again, if you're a Flash fan, you know a lot of the crazy stuff that happens to the Flash character. But the show has been on this whole track that Barry has a finite amount of time. That we know Barry Allen will at some point, possibly in 6 years of the show, because most shows last about 6 years,
he will disappear.
He disappears. Like, he has an end. He has a finite point. Like, what will happen? Will we see Crisis? Will we see, the Red Skies? Will we see the merger of Queen Consolidated with Wayne Tech? Because that's a bottom headline in that newspaper, is that apparently Wayne Tech and Queen Consolidated merge into one company. So it's funny,
you've been waiting for this for 6 years, and then
we had to sit through his mother dying 4 times.
Yes, 4 times.
So so we can know that that Barry's future is set. Because again, it's time travel's weird, but apparently that is an immutable fact that he was gonna go out in crisis. Like, there's a photo of Barry Allen wearing the classic Flash costume, full red costume, no lines or anything, and it was written by Iris West Allen, his wife.
Yes.
So we have a set time, a set date. We know it's gonna happen.
And then CW is like, no, just kidding. It's the other Flash.
No, CW, the producers of the Flash.
Yes, the writers, whatever.
No, the producers of the Flash are not the same producers that were in the beginning of the show. The original creators left the project, and new creators came in.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they, quote unquote, said, we didn't want to be shackled by what the previous team did. Yet they literally made an entire storyline in the previous season with his daughter Nora about that exact same thing. So they used it as an entire plot point, and yet at the last second, when the story was actually coming to fruition, decided, nah, fuck that, we won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
We will literally not do what we had been saying or planning since season 5, that Barry gets taken out in Crisis, and that the Reverse Flash will have something to do with it. Yet they removed that and the Reverse Flash from Crisis itself, because everyone was waiting for
him to show up, so they can actually go back in time, and that sets the events in motion. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Sets the events of the show in motion. Yeah, that's true. Because again, as we know, when Barry Allen's mother died, there were at least 5 different Barry Allens all talking to each other in the same room.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, you're so right, man. Like, time travel on the Flash is completely broken, because sometimes when he time travels, there's 2 of them. Sometimes there's just 1 of him. It's very inconsistent, and now that you're telling me there's different writers that have come and gone, and it makes total sense now, because nobody's following the set rules made by the first pair of writers.
Yep.
And
which sucks, because again, the John Wetcher reveal that he was, again, also another thing that came out of the last Crisis, or the last crossover storyline, which was the Crisis on 2 Earths, the one with was it Crisis on 2 Earths? I forget what it was called.
Crisis on Earth X.
No, not Earth X. It was Elseworlds. That's the one. Because Barry and Oliver Queen become like the Trouble Twins or whatever. And homeboy from Lost, forgetting the guy's name, becomes Superman, evil Tyler Heckman Superman in the black costume. Barry Allen from the CBS show shows up saying like, hey, an evil is coming, the Monitor, and they have the Book of Destiny, and my Earth just got wiped out, and his Earth also had like Smallville, Oliver Queen or something. But he goes out of his way, brings everybody together, also makes the classic, looks at John Diggle and goes, hey John, where's your Green Lantern ring?
Ooh.
And he goes like, huh? So that sets in motion what comes after Crisis. But you have the character show up. He gets disappeared immediately after he shows up by the Monitor, which is again another thing that everyone's like, oh shit, freaking John Wetcher showing up in the freaking classic velvet smooth Flash costume. This is gonna be awesome. Elseworlds show, like, this is gonna be great. Immediately the guy's taken out. No one knows where the fuck he goes.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, then you learn that he was teleported
onto the treadmill.
It teleported in front of the Anti-Monitor, and then he's like, haha, I got you. And he's like, wait, why did the good Monitor transport the Flash to the evil Monitor? And then gets captured and then used to power the cosmic treadmill, which is creating the force, the antimatter force to destroy the universe. However, he rigs it so that if he stops running, it will just destroy all universe anyway. So the reasoning as to why the antimatter created an elaborate death trap for the Flash is beyond me. Because again, if he runs, he destroys the universes slowly. If he stops running,
he just destroys it really fast.
Quickly. So it's literally why is this here? And so Barry from our Barry from the CW, it goes like, oh, this is what I have to do. This is the thing I was meant to do. This is how I go out.
Yep.
If we're able to reverse the polarity, science speak, to the antimatter wave, I can prevent the destructions of more universes. However, in doing so, it will take me out. I have to run so fast that I will literally kill myself. John, what's your ship? Flash goes, oh man, that's cool.
But
his powers away.
No, he's like, no, I'm gonna let you finish, but nah.
I'm gonna let you think that you were meant to die here, and go like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
Psych.
And then runs back on the treadmill. Everyone gets out. After stealing his speed, a power again taken from Wally West, because every single thing apparently Barry Allen does is stolen from the great Wally West character, not the one from the show, but the one in comic books. So stealing speed was a whole thing. So he goes back onto the treadmill, runs as fast as he can, and thinks about his wife, Tina McGee, from the CBS Flash show.
And they roll a clip. They rolled the clip.
Yeah, they rolled the clip from the very first episode of the show where they meet each other, and I'm like, that's cool.
But
it's an interesting send off to a character who has literally been the Flash for 3-4 seasons back in the 90s, and I'm like, that's cool. You know, you've been a part of the show. You're Jay Garrick. You're Barry's dad. You're Barry Allen Flash. You have been on the show for a long time. You have had a lot of input and a lot of impact on the series itself. However, why the fuck does Iris wants to have to write a story about the Flash dying?
And it's not
and she thinks it's her husband, yet is an old Barry Allen from a different universe.
I wish I knew.
Yeah, me too.
All right. One last thing, because damn it, the Crisis is pissing me off. Like the way we just breaking down all this stuff makes me like see how shitty it was.
Like it's in context, it's a beautiful moment. It's supposed to be a beautiful moment.
No, it is. It's a great moment, but in the terms of the Flash's Barry Allen's actual story, it doesn't fit.
Which again, I bring up this thing again. How I always overthink and think how an event may or may not occur in this show, with the context of how things play out. Because I'm thinking, all right, cool. We know that there's that the Flash has to do a race. He has to run and do the thing that he needs to do, and they can't locate the antimatter is generating the antimatter wave. And I'm thinking, cool. More than likely, it's another speedster, and because that's how it is in the comics. It's Barry who, with initial his powers are like generating what's going on. And I'm thinking it would be a cool idea if, imperceptible to everyone else, something keeps running around the city that no one can see, but our CW Barry, because again he's attuned to looking at things faster than anybody else, and he starts noticing that something keeps popping in and out of the city at a fast rate, and I'm thinking, all right, cool. Barry will start running, and then start noticing that what he's running after is the other Barry. So the two of them, in now perpetual speed, realize that he's generating this thing and he can't stop. Like, he has to keep running. If he stops running, I don't know, fucking
the show.
The same stakes, which are stupid. He would cause. The best way he would say is like, if he stops running, the wave will grow faster. The reason why it's slowing down is because he is running. He's keeping it at bay, running as fast as he can. I would say that.
If I stop running, the show will get canceled.
Yeah, so our Barry has to now run after him, telling him they have a full conversation in the Speed Force, running as fast as they can. The only people that see the world in this way. So they have to say there has to be a way we can stop this. There's no way, and then he's slowing, like, you know, that our Barry's slowing, like the CBS Barry's slowing down. Like, he can't keep up. Like, he's been doing it for like months now since he's disappeared. So he's at his final legs of his race. Like, he can't keep going. So our Barry has to now take over. Like, he has to take over to like keep the thing from happening. And he, you know, tells Cisco about the whole thing, the whole reverse polarity, whatever. So he realizes the way that he has to stop it. So he has to keep running until he gets to the Speed Force. Our Barry goes out. You take Barry out. You kill our CBS. You kill RCW Barry because we're gonna bring him back anyway. But you might as well take him out for the show's sake because it happens. Like, you know, there is the headline. It has to be there. We can bring him back the next season. Like, you know, you just have to take him out now. For the temporary, like, you just have to have the balls to do it. Like, you know, just yes, it's weird to have a show without the lead, but you have a cast of characters to keep the show going, and then you can generate more views because people are gonna wonder what happened to Barry. Like, he can't, you know, the show can't end without the Flash, or the Flash has to come back.
It's like when Oliver Queen was fighting Ra's al Ghul, and he got kicked off the mountain, and he was gone for a few episodes.
He was gone for a few episodes. They literally, like I said before, these writers are sometimes very confident, and that was an honest to God, good example of good writing. They took out Oliver Queen.
That was a good arc.
And then we're thinking, we keep thinking, oh shit, we know Oliver Queen's gonna come back because the show's named Arrow. But the fact that he was gone for a couple episodes makes you all go, that's cool. We get to sit with the other characters in the ramifications of the actions of Oliver Queen.
Yeah, we get to see them, you know, grow as characters without
the main... Which would have been cool. Bring back Keenan Lonsdale to be Wally West. Make him the Flash.
Oh, he doesn't want to be the Flash, man. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
He left the show because there was nothing for him to do, and I'm 100% positive about it. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know why they gave him nothing. They gave him nothing.
He even he referenced it at some point. He's like, "You guys didn't even know I was gone."
Yeah. I was gone. Like, there was like an entire crisis going on, and yet no one goes, "Hey, we could use another speedster here," and no one brings up the fact that Kid Flash is over there. Even his return in the recent episodes of the Flash is an interesting idea of where he comes back. Yet the show does the exact same garbage that it has done to him for every fucking episode. I do love that he makes another reference and goes like, "Hey, you fucked up. The Speed Force dying. You could have came to me, man. You did the exact same thing you always do."
Oh, Barry.
And I'm like, that's funny. That's funny that they bring this up again.
I heard that Barry and him had, well, not Barry, but Grant Gustin and him had beef. Yeah, that's what I heard.
I haven't read anywhere about that. If it's true, I can see why. Because again, watching the way the show works, Grant Gustin will never be out of the show for half a second.
Yeah, but here's the ironic. You know what's ironic though? They don't give him anything to do, but then they spent season 5 with the Flash's daughter. Like, that was basically her show. Season 5.
That's true. He was still a big part of it though. He's like, again, he was in every episode.
Yeah, but
he's always in the episode, even though he doesn't have much to do, or he only shows up and goes like, "Run, Barry, run." He's always in every episode. There's not an episode he's not in. Like, you know, there's not an episode with even the episode that's elongated man's episode. Barry's still in the show.
Yeah, I know that, but it's like you're giving all this screen time to a character we just met instead of giving the screen time to a character you've been building over the last few seasons, who's basically
Nora got
protege.
more play than Wally West ever did.
Yeah, and then she dies at the end of the season. We're going way off track.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, crisis.
The last thing I'm going to talk about besides... well, first of all, I like the Ezra Miller Flash cameo. That was dope. That was really dope.
That was really to be honest, I was like, yo, you should have been doing this from the beginning. There's no reason why you can't just ask one of the actors from the movies, like, hey, show for like 2 seconds? That'd be dope.
Yeah, and that was the WB reaching out to the CW. It was like, hey, can we do this? Like, it wasn't the other way around, like the TV people reaching out to the movie people. It was the movie people reaching out to the TV people, which Marvel should have been doing with, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I digress. That 4th episode where they're like, let's talk about Oliver Queen. This is my biggest gripe with the whole crossover, is that you take Oliver Queen, who's an archer, and he kicks ass, and then out of nowhere, they give him...
Let's preface,
okay.
Yeah, let's preface it again by setting the groundwork. So Oliver Queen dies first episode. He goes out fist fighting a bunch of shadow demons on top of a building.
Yeah.
When he could have easily had an entire firing squad with him, take these people out for whatever reason. I don't know. The freaking two superhumans, Flash, and I forget who else is up there. Couldn't do shit. While Oliver Queen is punching, kicking dudes in the face, and losing arrows, and then going and then runs at a bunch of dudes. And apparently, again, as the monitor says, every second he took, 1 million lives were saved.
Which is bullshit.
I don't know. I have no idea if that's true. I don't know if that math works, man. But whatever.
But
he dies on the table, telling Barry and Kara that this is the way I was gonna go out. Back in the last crossover, I made a deal with Marnovu to save your lives. Now you owe me. Go save the universe. Oh, by the way. Find my wife. Tell her she's amazing. And
tell her she's the best character on this show.
She's the greatest thing in my life forever. All that. Mia, find your mom. Tell her she's cool. As he lays there dying, and then goes out. Everyone's sad. Blah blah blah. Oh
yeah. So they reach out to Lucifer so they could go to purgatory.
Yeah, Sarah figure out that they have to go find Lucifer to find his, to try to bring his body back.
Bring his soul.
No, Constantine. They have to find Constantine to find his soul find Lucifer from the show Lucifer.
Yeah. So they find Lucifer, and then they're in purgatory. So they're looking for Oliver Queen's, trying to get his soul back.
The island he was on in every season of the show.
Because
Lee and you named after Purgatory is Purgatory for Oliver Queen.
And then they find him, and he's like, "Cool, and I get to be alive again." And then somebody comes out of. Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off for this because it's the writing is ridiculous. Constantine goes, "Hey, we're in Purgatory. We're gonna find Oliver Queen. However, once we find him, his brain has been squeegee. He will not remember who the fuck we are. He will probably combat us and try to kill us." So the moment he finishes saying those words, Oliver Queen comes out of nowhere, throws a couple of arrows, punches Constantine, and then John Diggle goes, "Hey man,
chill.
You're my brother. We're cool." And then he goes,
"Oh yeah,
John? Oh buddy, I'm so glad you're here. I missed you so much." And you're like, "Hold on a second. That was it?" He's like, "Yeah." And immediately after he says that, "Oh, it's cool. It's so great that we found you," a dude comes out of the bushes.
Yes.
And goes, "Oliver Queen, I need your help, man. Jim Corrigan, I need to give you something." And then Jeff Constantine goes, "Not any Jim Corrigan I know." And he's like, "Hey man, multiverse doesn't fucking matter. I'm a different actor."
Wow.
Yeah. So after.
If anyone doesn't know the character Jim Corrigan, which probably a lot of people don't know, Jim Corrigan is the mortal host body of the Spectre. The Spectre is a cosmic deity, or has been known as the right hand of God. So he has the powers of
a god.
Fucking literally plagues, judgment, and all the crises that God has ever put on man.
But here's the thing, Frankie. You shouldn't be the one explaining this. The TV show should be explaining this. And the TV show does not explain this one bit. So you're giving the guy who's been known to shoot arrows for 8 seasons, you're giving him basically the power of an Egyptian god card. And so the final fight with the Anti-Monitor, he's just on God mode out of nowhere.
Which I find weird. Because I'm thinking, oh, sweet. You're gonna give the immortal powers of God himself to the dude who shoots arrows, who's technically the greatest claim to fame he has in the show is the fact that his fight choreography on that show is fucking balls to the wall. They're great. He goes into a fucking room of 17 dudes. It's starts doing parkour, kicking people in the face, breaking necks, and arm bars on guys. And I'm like, awesome. That means he has to have the illest fucking fist fight.
Nope.
Fist fight with the Anti-Monitor. This is gonna be fucking dope sauce because again, both him and the Spectre share the greatest fashion sense, which is hoods. So that's why they're giving them their powers. So yeah, as you were saying.
So they basically give all this power to Green Arrow. He has a giant Dragon Ball Z fight with the bad guy. the Anti-Monitor.
Beam struggle.
Yes, yes, it's Budokai shit. And then he defeats him, of course. Well, not really, but what Oliver Queen does, by this point, the universe is like destroyed. So with his last dying breath, Oliver Queen reinvents the universe or the multiverse as he sees fit, and he dies for a second time, and
so
I feel
he
nothing.
Makes a universe.
Yes.
He makes the new universe that everyone's in now. He created a baby universe which will then grow to become the universe that they have.
With all the superheroes on the same Earth.
Yeah, all of this, again, happening in a rock quarry, because apparently that's the beginning of time.
Because Power Rangers just finished shooting there, so, like, you guys can have it.
Wow!
It is such a weird thing to know that the last final fight between CGI monsters, the crew of the shows, and Oliver Queen beam struggling the Anti-Monitor happens on a rock quarry. But that's not even the final fight.
No, there's a whole other episode. Like, you would think this would be the climax. But there's another episode after it where, like, a freaking giant Furby's running downtown.
It's the Legends of Tomorrow episode.
And it's shenanigans. And then the Anti-Monitor, he grows into a giant monster, like Rita Repulsa style.
He literally does make
my monster grow.
You know I love that. I love that.
But the funniest thing about this, the funniest thing about this, and is their reasoning and understanding of how to beat the Anti-Monitor. Again, the Monitor had been beaten already. Monitor got beaten 3 episodes ago by what's her name?
Lila.
John Diggle's wife, because she apparently also had a weird connection with the Monitor, who saved her life back in a war or something, and then she had indentured servitude to him. So she was like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna help you out." So he goes, "Hey, everything that's the first half of the Arrow season is setting up is that we're gathering pieces to give Lila powers. No one knows this, but they're doing a bunch of shit to give Lila powers.
And Lila doesn't really do anything. She just has a headache throughout the entire crossover.
Yeah, so she has powers. She then disappears because then she's corrupted by the Anti-Monitor off screen somewhere.
Yeah.
So when she comes back, she's like, "Haha, I've been in control of Lila forever. Everyone has a role to play." And then Lila kills the Monitor. So the Monitor gets killed, nowhere to be seen again as the cosmic deity. The Anti-Monitor shows up later because Lila's apparently off the board now. And then when he comes back, after they realize that the Anti-Monitor will forever exist in whatever fucking universe it happens, they go, "Cool, the Monitor could never beat the Anti-Monitor because they've been alive for billions of years, since the inception of time, space, reality, all this shit. The Monitor has existed alongside the Anti-Monitor in a stalemate against one another." So,
oh my gosh, this is just so much. I feel like you've been pouring so much juice into my cup that the cup is just flown over.
Overflowing. Is it overflowing with fucking convoluted information? Anyway,
it sounds like fan fiction. All of this.
Yeah, it 100% is. This is all fan fiction. Again, it's based off a story that happened, so they're rewriting the story to fit whatever narrative they wanted. But
where's the romance?
Yeah, so there's of course the romance is, "Hey, tell my wife I love her." Also, when we see her again, you'll see what happens at the end of Arrow. Anyway, the Anti-Monitor becomes huge. Everyone's fighting him. They can't beat him because he's super strong.
And then
for
Ray Palmer.
Are like, I'm gonna get to that point. Yeah. But for him and Sarah like having like beef because the Anti-Monitor's like, "Yo, you were the toughest thing here." Again, the 2 superhumans, the Flash, everything else not fucked up. You, girl with stick. I'm worried about you.
Fake Black Widow. Get over here.
So the Atom, along with the other Atom, who's not the Atom yet.
Ryan Cho.
Yeah, what's his name?
Ryan Cho.
Ryan Cho, thank you. So I think you said something completely different. But yeah, Ray Palmer, Ryan Cho, the 2 Atoms decide, hey, we're going to create a bomb to shrink the Anti-Monitor into the fucking Phantom Zone. I don't fucking know. They literally create a fucking shrink bomb, which then they hit the Monitor with. So no matter how he grows in size, he will constantly shrink in size. So they beat the Monitor with the easiest play that fucking Ant-Man does in any Marvel Universe movie. So it's like, why? You're telling me the Monitor in all of millennia of existence was like, I can't beat the guy. Shrink Bomb. Oh shit, never tried that.
Damn.
So you're saying DC has no original ideas?
Unfortunately.
And that's Crisis, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause.
Wow. I was eating popcorn the whole time too. I'm like, dude, where's he going with this? What? Girl, no. What the hell?
There's also, it's weird. There's also a weird moment in the fight where Superman gets caught. Like he gets grabbed out of the sky, and the Monitor like crushing him, and Supergirl's like, oh no, my cousin.
I gotta go super speed.
Yeah, everything gets slowed motion. Like in any other show, in any other like form of media, when you see a character see something desperate, and then everything starts slowing down, you're getting to the point of, oh, she has to do a play that's going to be great. Like she has to do the sacrifice play. Like she has to say, like in order to save her cousin, she has to sacrifice herself in order to do so. It stopped immediately in its tracks by Ray Palmer going like, "Hey, no, I got this." Straight Superman throws the grenade to Supergirl and goes like, "Hey, throw like a girl," and she's like, "Always." And then throws the shrink bomb and then shrinks down the Monitor. So that's how that ends.
Win. So we basically got full fan fiction with a bonus chapter DLC.
Exactly. That's how this. That's how this goes.
Oh Lord,
I feel your sweat.
And this leads into the Arrow's finale. Not only did he bring all the heroes on one Earth, almost all the characters that have died, all the major characters that have died on Arrow and during the series, he brought them back to life.
Except for
Laurel, because everybody.
the original Laurel Lance.
Because
the carbon copy from Earth 2.
everybody hates Laurel Lance.
The original Laurel Lance, who dies in a hospital bed, looking at Oliver Queen, telling her, "Hey, listen, I know you never loved me, even though you carried your picture of Ali and Liam, thought about me all the time, thinking about coming back to me. But I know you love Felicity, and she's great. Felicity's fucking amazing. Oh, she's fucking. You should marry her." And it dies.
I love it.
It's so true though, because basically Laurel was, if you read the comics, she's the main love interest for Oliver Queen, but the fans loved Felicity so much they were like, Oliver and Felicity should get together. No, it was the fans, bro. They Olicity, they shipped them so hard, and the writers saw this and they were like, "Oh, gotta give them what they want." And then they got together. They broke up for a season. Then they got back together. They got married on top of Barry and Iris, like literally right after them, on top of them. White people stealing, a black girl's thunder.
I do love that freaking Iris brought that up and go like, "No, get your own fucking wedding. Like, come up to my wedding. You got married here. Like, you're stealing a lot of my thunder right now, Felicity."
But how'd you feel about him resurrecting all those people? You think it was cheap? You thought it was cool?
It's whatever. Like, back,
the show's over. Who cares?
Yeah, bringing back freaking Paul Blackthorne. The guy who played
Quentin.
Officer, Captain Lance.
Yeah.
Like, he's great. I love the guy, so they bring him back. I'm like, cool. They brought back a bunch of the world apparently got people from everywhere who died in this thing gets brought back. I'm like, cool, whatever. Like, none of these people are actually gonna be seen. It's not like we're gonna get another season of Green Arrow or of Arrow with freaking Paul Blackthorne back as a guy. It's like, none of it really matters.
They brought back Tommy.
He brings back Tommy. He brings back a bunch of people. He brings back his mom. He doesn't bring back his dad because he can't.
He brought back his sister that he didn't know about.
Yeah, he brought back his sister, and they're all like, "Oh, it's cool that we had an entire life with it. We all remember, but apparently it wasn't real."
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. It's whatever. But it's just so weird that he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna bring back everyone except for Laurel, because
people like evil Laurel better." That's why.
Everyone loves evil Laurel better. That one that killed babies and puppies and literally ran into freaking guys like, "I got a family." Goes like, "Cool," and it breaks his head open.
Dang.
Yeah, there's a Laurel
Like,
from
it's like,
Earth
oh, that's
2
so
that
amazing.
people.
She learned so much and had such a great character turn that I'm like, great, that's fantastic. She had more to do and had a better character arc than anyone else, but it's still a fucking dirty move to be like, you could easily bring back two of them, man. They're just two Laurels, just to have two little fucking Laurels, man.
Yeah, it was weird. A lot of people pointed that out. They even brought back Ragman for the finale. Like, you bring back Ragman, that people.
Like the Kite Man of the.
Oh no, he is better.
Oh no, Ragman is like OP.
Yeah, even though I love Kite Man, don't get me wrong, hell yeah, Kite Man. But Ragman is like an unstoppable force of destruction. Like literally, when he was on the team, everyone was like, "Yo, how can I'm a guy with a hockey mask, guns, arrows. This guy over here has guns and a fucking helmet.
This guy has a magic rags that can deflect bullets.
I have a Jewish freaking rags that literally can stop a nuclear explosion.
Yep.
Fuck you.
That's why he was kicked off the team, because he was so overpowered. They needed an excuse for him to leave. They're like, oh man, my rags don't work, guys. Sorry, I guess I could use them as toilet paper.
It wasn't even that. He was fully functional. He just left. He was like, hey guys, I gotta handle something because of my dad. I'll be back later, and then never comes back.
And he's like, I gotta take out the trash. Never comes back.
I'm gonna go out for a pack of smokes. I'll be back.
And then we realized that day that his son knew that Ragman would never return.
Yeah, and then he comes back in the final episode, and I do love. There's so much in the final episode of Arrow that I do enjoy. That there's the moment where
you get your ass kicking. All that action you wanted, you get it.
Yeah, I finally get all the straight, street, sweet, freaking parkour, like arm breaking freaking fights. Even an old school one where Oliver Queen's like, "Hey man, this is me back in year one before I had a team, and I had to kill this guy." And it's a storyline where Diggle again is like, "Hey man, you don't have to do this." He's like, "Nah, I gotta break people's necks, man. You know what I'm saying?"
Yo, I gotta be like Batman, son.
But like even worse because I murder people. But the funniest thing is that there's so much good catharsis going on in that episode that I'm like, I enjoy it for the most part. I do love that the conversation between Ragman and Wild Dog. And he tells him, "Hey man, you're the only guy who ever got into his face." He's like, "Why is that?" Because you're like the guy who's like the most like him.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's true. It's so weird that Wild Dog never put on a fucking Green Arrow costume because when Oliver Queen quote unquote died, I was like, "Yo, he should be the next one in line."
Yo, I would prefer him over his daughter. Like his daughter.
I'm fine with his daughter being like the future Green Arrow. As long as Connor Hawk also because of fucking Green Arrow, because come on man, I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with that guy. I want him in the suit. I only had it once.
By the way, I don't think that series got picked up. Green Arrow. The lady. Because it set up. It also set up so much more stuff that I wanted to see. Like I wanted to see what was going to happen with JJ. I wanted to see what was going to happen with John Diggle. I mean, not JJ. With Connor and JJ. Yeah, I wanted to see what happened with both of them because it's like cool. You're setting up a future storyline that's actually pretty interesting because I want to know who the fuck also has Martian fucking rings that can rewrite people's memories in the goddamn future. Yeah.
Like I want to know who fucking brought this
technology.
It was an interesting event. There's some interesting stuff. It's shitty that she doesn't fire an arrow against anybody until she shoots it at a building to escape a building. And I'm like, that's weird that you didn't shoot one arrow.
That building was sexist, and that also reminds me of a joke I made like 3 months ago. This is how they could have prevented the crisis. If all the women in the CW verse came forward and claimed that the crisis sexually harassed them, boom.
Wow.
Done.
I can't believe you're so brave.
Oh my gosh. Tell your story.
No crisis. Crisis averted.
So yeah, that was Crisis on Infinite Earths and a little bit of Arrow, the last episode.
That last shot of the Arrow finale is so stupid because Felicity is like going to visit Oliver. Listen, throughout season 7 of Arrow, they kept showing this future timeline, and then by the end of Crisis, that future timeline no longer exists.
It doesn't exist
It
anymore. So
doesn't exist.
Goes to the portal,
It makes no sense.
She goes into the portal with the monitor going like, hey, I promise you this. That Felicity doesn't
Exist.
anymore. So that timeline doesn't exist anymore. That version of her that goes to Crystal Heaven with fucking Oliver Queen
Doesn't exist anymore.
The way it happened. So, and it's not even a Crystal Heaven, which I also find it so fucking stupid. It's like, hey, cool, we're in heaven. Heaven's Star City's a fucking Queen Consolidated building. And I'm like, this is your heaven?
Why would your heaven be working at your job, like doing a day job? It makes no sense.
And I also love that, again, just to stick it even further into Laurel Lance's fucking rotting corpse. Oliver Queen goes like, hey, cool, yeah, this is my mom's office. It's the first time we met each other. And she's like, wait, no, we didn't. And then they flash back to that episode after they realized that they wanted to have Oliver Queen fall in love with Felicity, was when he escaped escaped China and went and cracked the neck of this guy that was giving his sister drugs and murdered him. And it goes to his mom's office and sees a random blonde-headed girl and goes like, that girl?
I'm gonna marry her someday.
I'm gonna marry her somewhere. She's gonna have my babies. And then smiles and go like, haha, yeah, I totally know who she is. What's her name? Felicity? Oh, cool. Cool. She's single? Oh, yeah, that's great. I'm gonna go back to thinking about Laurel back on an island. I'm gonna hold her photo. But the moment I get back, I'm gonna smash that.
Oh, yeah, he did. Smashed her right into the grave. Anyway. That was a very long discussion of Crisis.
It's a long show.
Yeah. But well, let's move on. Did anyone see Birds of Prey? Raise your hands. Anyone?
I did.
Anyone? Yoko, you didn't see it? Yoko. She's still there?
I'm still here, sorry.
Did you see Birds of Prey?
No, I really wanted to so bad because amidst all this controversy, I keep hearing more and more good reviews about it now that it's blown over.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, I watched the Harley Quinn TV series. And
which is awesome. Technically, she is that Harley Quinn in a lot of ways. So.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, this animated show is delightful.
Fucking great. That's why I was like, hell yeah, Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh, Kite Man. You know what? I described it to my friends as this. What if Daria and Jane had their own spin-off?
Oh, you are right. That is 100%. That's a good shit, I'm forgetting the word, but yeah, that's a good way to preface that show. Yeah.
Right? I would say Jane would be Harley Quinn and Daria would be Poison Ivy because, like, Daria is technically an introvert, but she tries, and, like, freaking, it was just perfect. And you know what? It made me hate the Joker even more, but like in a comical, but not in a way where I'm like, oh, I don't want him to, I want him to die. It's more like, see, this is the shit that I've actually gone through. Is like, that Joker's perfect. Like,
yeah, he's a scumbag, and I love it. It's such a great show.
All right, I just have to reveal this part. So, for instance, they go to a bat mitzvah because Harley Quinn's like, fuck yeah, I'm going. Pardon my language. We're going to a bat mitzvah, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And Joker's like, oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to that one. Everyone's like, yo, and Bane is mocked from the movie Bane. Like, oh, I got chicken with my meal at the bat mitzvah. It's pretty good.
I will destroy you, chicken.
Yes. And then Joker's like, can I try that one? I ordered it in advance. And he goes, oh, that's fine. It tastes great. You know what? I'm gonna keep that too. And Bane's like, oh, but it's my food. I'm like, yo, this is so messed up. Like, for the reason that episode and the episode when Wanda Sykes came in.
The Queen of Fables? Yeah.
Queen of Fables, my favorite enemy of all time. I've decided. She's like, next to the Dragon Princess bad guy, Queen of Fables is my favorite bad guy. Because she's sick and crazy.
She's great. She's just the ultra violence of like the rest of the show is like, oh, these are bad guys, but no, she is fucking evil. You don't get this.
Did you kill them all? Yeah, because we have to destroy the bloodline. All right.
You don't want no blood feuds coming at you. whatnot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Happens every time. They want revenge because you didn't kill the bloodline.
I can't watch that show because it has bad words in it.
Oh man, you should watch that show. Just censor it yourself. Put a beeps whenever.
Censor it myself.
No, you gotta watch it with you know who, so you can tell. You gotta have like an agenda counter. I'm sorry. Like anytime he says the A word, you're like, he said it 76 times in one episode.
Nah, he probably quarantined himself because he's afraid of women.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, I really want to see Birds of Prey, but I guess everybody else is quarantined except for me.
Is Birds of Prey better than Suicide Squad?
I mean, yeah, it's true. Not saying much though, but that's true.
It's a low bar to cross.
Yeah, it's a very low bar to cross.
All right. So my question for today, is superhero fatigue a real thing? I'm gonna name off all the shows that have come out since the Green Arrow. I'm gonna do it off the top of the dome. I'm gonna miss a few, but we had Arrow, Supergirl, Batwoman, The Flash, Black Lightning, Legends of Tomorrow, all the Marvel Netflix shows. You had the Boys. You have shows like Krypton that people are watching supposedly. Watchmen.
What's canceled now?
Yeah. Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Am I missing anything?
I guess the Netflix shows, Daredevil,
Yeah.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I said Netflix shows.
Cage. Oh.
Yeah, that's a lot of superhero content in a short amount of time. So, as an American superhero fan, is that too much, or is that not enough? Oh, don't forget Doom Patrol, Titans. Forgot about those shows. Swamp Thing. What do you think?
Swamp Thing, that's still around.
No, cancel.
Oh,
Good show.
It was?
It was a good show. I liked that show. Too bad it got canceled immediately before the episode even aired.
Wow. You know what? I bet you online the whole series is there because anything that's canceled, everything's online.
Yeah, you can definitely find it. Yeah, it sucks that it was canceled. Like, same with Krypton. Krypton was actually a very good show, and that got fucking canceled. It sucks, man.
Was it?
So, what are our rounding out thoughts?
Well, I asked you guys a question. Like, you guys didn't answer it.
I don't know. Who you want to answer first?
I'm not fatigued. That's all.
Okay. I say that super fatigue is bullshit. There's no. It isn't that there's like people are gonna get tired of superhero shows. It's like saying people are gonna get tired of like procedurals or freaking like cop shows or fucking detective series or shit like that. There's a shit ton of genres of different types of shows always that are on fucking repeat and cycle ad nauseum for the past 40 years. Like it's not a fatigue of the property. It's a fatigue of like whether or not the movie's good or people want to see it. Like that's about it. Like if they already have like a problem with like, oh man, Suicide Squad is not a great movie. Do I really want to watch Harley Quinn? It's not that they didn't want to watch it. It's the fact that they don't want to watch something that they know it's not going to be good or not. That's about it. Like
I think the people, our generation has grown up with these characters. Mm-hmm. I think, let's just say people in their 40s and up just don't care. I think they're fatigued. But that's just my perspective.
So you're saying boomers are tired of people in tights saving the world?
You know it.
I think I just brought this up because every year there's one article that's like, oh my god, the superhero bubble, is it gonna pop this year? Because we have like 8 superhero movies a year now. We're getting Marvel shows, new Marvel shows on the horizon. Well, hopefully, and I just never see why because we, like you said, we have a lot of like procedure shows, or we have a lot of like horror flicks. People don't get tired of that. We have a lot of reality shows. People don't get tired of that. So I just think that the question is silly. I mean, there's some good superhero shows and there's some bad ones. Inhumans.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a bad show.
Yeah, I didn't even bother to watch it. I saw a review and I was like, no thanks.
The moment you take a show about a bunch of super powered like royal family characters, you would literally go like, hey, sweet, this is Marvel's Game of Thrones. This is literally a bunch of characters who have bloodlines, things of that nature, like like crazy aesthetics, crazy environments that they can go to. The moment you take all that and go, let's put him on Hawaii and take away all that makes him special, and you're like, yeah, you should have saw this coming, man. It wasn't going to be any good. Why the fuck did you do this? So,
I have a question for you guys. Since X-Men inevitably is going to be rebooted in the MCU.
Legion, that was a show that people were watching.
Yeah, Legion. Oh, The Gifted. You see, there's shows I missed. And so the X-Men. My question is, how would you reboot the X-Men? Would you do a TV show, or would you do like movies again?
TV show, period. They need to stop with the stupid movies. You know why? Because Halle Berry gonna try and come back with a dusty butt and try and make it cute. It's not cute, Halle Berry. You're crusty now.
I would say if you're gonna make an X-Men like a reboot, you're gonna try to reintroduce the concept of the mutants and all that stuff. I would try to say both. I would say make an actual tie-in, make a show that ties into the movies, because the X-Men are never one thing. They're so fucking complex that it's really hard to put one footnote into a movie series, because there's so much of the characters you have to build up.
Yeah.
Again, the main reason why the Avengers even work is because you had multiple fucking formats to venues to watch these characters. When they became one cohesive movie, you're like, cool, I get their characters already, and you could distill them down to courageous one, cocky one,
asshole,
strong asshole, and you could just make it very broadline, because you already know who these guys are. You want to make an ensemble movie about a bunch of characters and try to get them all screen time. It's going to be really hard to do, because you're just gonna have the same problem you have the original X-Men movies, which was we have to focus it on one guy.
Yeah.
That guy's Wolverine. So if you want to make that, cool, make the Wolverine movie, make a new Wolverine movie, but make him tie into the show. Just like how he normally does in the comic books. He just pops in and out of places. Just put him in the show, put him in the movie, put him in the Avengers, put him back. If you want your one through line character to be in your universe, cool. But make a show about everyone else. That way you can have an entire season to know who Scott Summers is, Hank McCoy, Professor Xavier, all these characters. You can make them actually grow. That way you can give them better understanding of who these characters are, because again, I am a giant Scott Summers fan. I love Cyclops. A lot of people don't, because
Scott Summers is just a douchebag in a wetsuit, man. Come on.
See, once again, that's what which I find hilarious, because out of everyone, I respect Scott Summers a lot more than I do fucking Wolverine. He's trying to bag someone else's fucking girlfriend or wife when he's
spicy.
Okay, first of all, he's a daddy. He likes to train younger girls. Oh.
Yeah. Ew. He's a groomer.
And I love, he's freaking ancient. He's a prospector. Freaking, I love Wolverine.
Prospector.
Listen, I love Wolverine. I love the character. He's a good character. He works really well in certain scenarios. But the fact that he became the face of the fucking, of the X-Men universe. Everyone loves Wolverine. Everyone wants to be Wolverine, because he can do what he wants. He has a fucking healing factor. He has fucking knives for hands. He puts all the ladies, gets all the things, is ripped, and I'm like, cool. He's also the guy that you least want on the team, because he's a fucking, every time he's like, hey man, I need you to do this. He's like, I do whatever I want to do, bub, and then goes off, throws himself into a fucking mess of robots and gets fucking his ass whooped. But it's the main reason why I respect Scott Summers is because he's the only guy out of an entire team that listens and goes, hey, all you motherfuckers need to goddamn back off and make a plan, because you all want to throw yourselves headfirst into a fucking situation, and it always fucks up. The guy was literally has his girlfriend blow up every other day, and becomes a giant fucking phoenix in the sky, or a death bird, and he has to be the guy to be like, I guess I gotta calm everyone else down when I got so much other shit going on in my life. My brother fucking, I lost my brother, came back as a bad guy. My other brother became a fucking a warlord in space and came down. I thought I lost my parents, but my dad just gallivanting around fucking cat girls in space. His ass has to sit down and be like, I have to be a leader of all these people. I have to make sure my people survive. I am fucking Malcolm X.
Oh my lord.
Like, everyone has to be like, hey, everyone has to be like, I gotta do my own thing. I gotta do my own thing. Scott Summers be like, yo, shut the fuck down and sit down. Because apparently we are in extinction mode, and I gotta do everything I can to make us all survive.
Go back to the danger room and do 10 burpees. Wow, I've never heard anyone compare Cyclops to Malcolm X before.
He became Malcolm X. He became Martin Luther King the moment it became that every other motherfucker out there, like Magneto and Xavier, kept fucking throwing fucking nuclear holocausts at one another, and he had to be like, okay, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing. I apparently have to he raised a nation. He made a country. He kept his people from fucking dying out. He legitimately backtalked Captain America and told him, "You ain't never been there for any of us, so get the fuck off my property."
What?
Oh, y'all hear that?
You won't see that on Disney Plus. It's not It's not family friendly.
Cyclops gets so much shit on because they think he's fucking milquetoast. When that motherfucker again has to keep an entire fucking species alive. And it gets blamed the moment it goes all awry. Like it always does. It goes like, Cyclops is a fucking murderer. We should lock him up. It's like, man, fuck you.
Wow. Powerful words.
I feel like I was at church just now.
It is Sunday.
Listen, I love all the X-Men characters again. I love Nightcrawler. I love Jean Grey. I love Emma Frost.
No, I totally agree with like a lot of what you said. I want character development for these characters.
Because all you got for Scott Summers, and again, for a lot of people growing up and watching the X-Men movies, is that his ass got cuckolded by fucking Wolverine the moment he walked through the goddamn doors. And I'm like, that's fucking disrespectful to that character. That the fucking leader of the X-Men got fucking, hey, you should stay away from my girl. She go like, she can tell me that herself. Bubba's like, oh, shut the fuck up, Wolverine. You just woke up.
True.
That's sad.
that was.
And then the last thing you get from Scott Summers is, hey, Gene, you're alive. Yeah, let's make out. Scott Summers gets killed off screen. Never to be seen again.
You like that, bub? You like what I did to your girl, bub?
Gene! Have you ever seen the compilation of Scott yelling Gene on YouTube? It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
My man wears leather jackets and rides motorcycles. Give that man respect.
He deserves some respect. Give him some respect.
I like that you're passionate. See, I love Storm so much, and
I love Storm.
Nobody likes Jubilee, but I'm like, dude, Jubilee's fine.
Jubilee's great. She's one of the most creative characters I've seen in a long time.
I agree.
Growing up.
I agree. I love her so much that I almost spent $100 on buying the whole X-Men toy kit just for her.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it does suck that her character gets no play in any of the movies. She shows up twice in 2 different movies, and it's never made anything up. And that does suck. Storm gets shafted in almost every movie she comes up.
Hell yeah, she does. She has like no personality.
Yeah, she has no personality. She has a fake African accent in the first movie. Loses that in the second movie. Has a fucking haircut in the third movie, and it shows up in the prequel trilogy. It's going like, hey, I got a bunch of powers. I'm pretty ain't gonna do shit though. And then when her and Cyclops are gonna be like, hey, yo, you should kill Jean. I'm gonna do anything again though. And I'll be like, yo, why are you here if you have no development or any sort of action except wear a different costume and possibly speak in a foreign accent?
Yep, sounds about right. You know what kills me too? Product placement. There are no products for Storm. There are no products for Jubilee. There's no products for Rogue. There's like I just want a simple T-shirt. I had to go get a custom one. That's just how shafted my girls are.
Because
same thing with Cyclops. I don't see Cyclops anything. It's always Wolverine.
Wolverine everywhere. The shittiest thing is the fact that back in the 80s, again, these characters were a lot more popular. I mean, Jubilee she showed up in the 90s. She had a lot of play during that time. in the cartoons and in the comic books, but there were barely any like merchandise you could pick up or something like that. But Rogue was one of the most fucking fashion forward characters of the era, especially when she went punk. She was punk. Like, Punk Storm is one of the best fucking things that ever fucking came out, and yet that character is always like brought back every other time when they want to make a statement, and then she's quickly forgotten.
You're right, and I have the Barbie doll rendition of Punk Brohawk Storm, and it's super rare. I mean, they'll have a toy or two, because like all I ever see are the X-Men toys. There's no shirts or anything, so it sucks. It
does. She's one of the most powerful characters, and I give because she took the leadership from Cyclops, of the leader of the X-Men. When Cyclops was like, I'm failing right now. She's like, yeah, I got this. And then she became one of the best fucking leaders of all time. And that's why I give her a lot of play too. And it sucks that she doesn't get any of that in the fucking movies or any other fucking form of media.
And that T'Challa took advantage of her.
Well, I'm very pleased.
Wow.
I definitely say if they're gonna make any sort of like televised live action stuff, give them a show. That way we could get a lot more like Storm, a lot more Cyclops, a lot more Jubilee, a lot more of these characters interacting with one another for a long series format. Don't just give us a show like Gifted that has characters that we know but are none of the mainstream guys. Like I don't want to fucking know about fucking T-Bird and fucking Magenta and fucking like the daughter of Magneto. I'm like, I want the Magneto. I'm like,
I don't want to know about Hank McCoy's brother's cousin's roommate. You know.
What does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
Yep.
I never saw The Gifted.
Like, just not being consistent and fixing things. That's all we need. So, any other things?
I finished Runaways season 3, guys.
I've actually yet to start that show. I should. I know the comic material.
And season 3 was like 3 seasons jam-packed into 10 episodes. It was a mess.
Wow.
They go.
It sucks because I know they over-explain and sort of like stretch out a very basic concept, which is, hey, a bunch of kids discover their parents are fucking supervillains. The parents are freaking taken out, so all the kids are now running away because they have no idea what the fuck to do. They just learned their lives were fucking lies.
It reminded me of Animorphs, which I think that's why I liked it. And
Animorphs.
Yeah, I love Animorphs.
Fucking throwback there.
Because
he loves Animorphs. We had like a whole podcast episode about it.
No, we didn't. And I just. I like the fact that, you know, their kids were their powers, and you know they have hormones, and they don't know what to do with these powers and these emotions, and then their family is corrupt. It's very exciting stuff. Like the first season was decent, but it wrapped really good in season 2. Those first 7 episodes, because it was really focused. It had a lot of decent action. The story was moving along.
Have you seen Runaways?
Nah, haven't seen Runaways. Haven't had access to it.
Well, Yoko, you should, because there's lesbians in it.
I heard.
I know, space lesbians, too.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite lesbian space, bro.
Spacebians. But
I wanted to ask a question, like, when a certain character becomes what they become. But
I will tell you if you want.
I don't want to spoil it for Yoko. She can,
yeah, don't spoil it for me.
Well,
I really won't watch it.
Well, that's the what frustrates me is that it's over now. Like season 3 was the ending, and the last episode, without spoiling it, it feels like a whole season arc jam packed into one episode, and it's really frustrating because I figured at some point, we want to do this, but we don't have enough time, so it's condensed into one episode, and it just left me feeling nothing. I was like, oh. Well, this is a little too little, too late, guys. But yeah,
Cloak and Dagger got canceled. That was an interesting show. Too bad that got taken out.
Yeah,
Ebony and Ivory. Yeah.
I never bothered watching that. I thought it was boring. It's a good show.
Yeah, good show. I enjoyed the crap out of it, just because of the dynamics between the characters.
But yeah, like I wish these guys got to appear in the movies because it's a great cast of characters. They're really good actors, and they deserve more, you know. But they were on
And
who?
maybe someday we'll get Matt Murdock in a movie. Apparently.
Yeah, in the year 2028. He's gonna be looking for his glasses, and then Wolverine's gonna give him some, and that's it. That's his cameo. But one more thing. The Black Widow trailer just hit our laptops last week.
Are we talking about the newer one or original?
We're talking about the brand new one, which I didn't see. But this directs my question at Yoko. What is your beef against Black Widow, Yoko? What?
I don't hate Black Widow. I just don't care for her.
How so?
I don't find her exciting. I'm not interested in her origin. I mean, she's not Sailor Moon. That's all I gotta say.
She is not Sailor Moon. That's for
sure. That's your reasoning. That's your weak ass reason.
Exactly.
I mean,
listen. Storm. She has more of a character appeal. You learn a little bit more about Africa through her. I mean, Frankie brought a lot of points up about her to begin with, and pretty much Storm has a commanding Oprah voice. Like, what more can you want?
Yeah, when she comes out and she goes like, "The power of nature, hear me." You know, she's fucking amazing.
I love it. I'm just saying, I don't care for Black Widow. I don't hate her. I'm glad that there's somebody who loves her that's probably not sexualizing her in a porn that might pop up on Pornhub based off of the movie next week, like they did for Harley Quinn several times over.
They've done it for everyone. There's a porno for She-Hulk. There's a porno for Avengers. There's a porno for
Sonic.
I think all 3 Spider-Man movies. I'm not entirely sure.
Yo, I saw a Batman one, and I was like, oh, and it was with Robin, and I was like, oh!
Ew.
It was more like an icon preview that just kept going.
Like I said, if there's a superhero that makes it to media somewhere, there's going to be a porno of that person somewhere.
Yep.
Black Widow as a character, I like her character. She has an interesting backstory. You know, it's a freaking Russian
spy.
Dancer, like turned into a fucking like a Black Widow assassin. She has technically Orphan or Cassandra Cain backstory. Like she was trained as a young age to fucking be a honeypot and fucking like murder and only knew about murder, nothing else.
I kill everyone.
Yeah, she has an interesting storyline.
And she doesn't have a love interest. That should make you happy.
She had multiple love interests. What are you talking about?
Well, I guess the Hulk.
Not in the movies. It's been the Hulk, and everyone else. She has literally had almost everybody.
You're not helping me out, man. I'm trying to make her like Black Widow.
I'm sorry. She has dated Daredevil. She has dated Frank Castle. She has dated fucking. What else was it? Captain America at one point. There's
Oh
no. She has
You're
been with a lot of people.
You're really not selling for me.
Listen, I know. Listen, she has multiple love interests in the comics. In the movies, it's only been really the Hulk.
I'm not surprised in the comics. Everyone's dating everyone. Like
everyone dates everyone. Her and Bucky have had long history.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like comics are like the biggest STD that you pick up.
The greatest. I wanted to call him slut, and that was Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson's the biggest DC slut of all time.
He really is.
It's in the name.
Wait, Dick Grayson. It's
Richard Grayson.
Gross.
Everybody.
He has been under everybody.
But everybody's been on top of Dick at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I need to do to get you to like Black Widow? I need to get a Scarlett Johansson pillow for you.
Oh my gosh. I'll send it right back.
But
Joke or not.
the Jennifer Lawrence pillow.
You know like Major Kurosaki? You know, the great Major.
Get out of my house!
Listen, you can dislike whoever you like. Like, dislike. That's our own personal thing that we have. Our rights. We are our own right to do. Well, if you don't like Black Widow, you don't like Black Widow. You don't like Cyclops, you don't like Cyclops. You don't like freaking Superman, you don't like Superman. These characters, if they are not for you, they are not for you. That's it. I would always say give them at least one chance to prove you wrong. That's about it.
My guy, you're like, not you so much, but Frisky, you're telling me to like a piece of paper with a wig. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
That's how you describing it to me.
Listen, she has
one good storyline or one at least pretty good name storyline by them, and see what you think about them, and go like, that's interesting. It's an interesting story. I still don't like the story. I still don't like the character, but it's an interesting story. You can at least do that.
I've changed a lot of opinions about several superheroes because of one-shot comics. The crappy part is, like, when you read a one-shot comic, it's like, oh, I like this rendition. I don't like anything else.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
But she has sticks. Glow sticks.
Wow!
Stick racer.
Ooh.
Damn it.
And just beat the devil out of him.
All right, well.
Yoko may need to go, though.
Yeah. We've been going a little long, but we've been gone for a few weeks, so it's all right. We're catching up. But now that I have...
glad you guys had me.
Yeah, dude.
I'm glad you came. It was great.
You have so much knowledge. So much.
I have a lot of useless comic knowledge.
Excuse you. It is not useless. It is delightful.
Thank you.
But, yeah, thanks for joining us today on this Dimensional Rift. I'm going to jump into Yoko's dimension so I don't get sick, and I hope you guys don't get sick either.
Can I plug my shit?
Yeah, plug your shit. Plug your shit.
Once again, I am Frankie Mateo. You can hear more of me if you want over at the Green Lantern Core podcast. There's a GL podcast, GL Core podcast. You can find us on Stitcher, iTunes. What's the other one? Shit, forgot the other one. But yeah, you can find us all the platforms out there. You can find us for our podcast. We normally discuss Green Lantern related materials, such as Green Lantern Core, Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, other characters like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. If you want premiere news on Green Lantern stuff, you can go there. We also have our the website, greenlanterncore.com, thegreenlanterncore.com. Yeah, check us out there. Listen to us ramble and rant about Green Lantern stuff. We're going to be talking about the new show that's going to be coming up soon.
You think John? Do you think John Diggle?
Huh?
You think John Diggle's going to be on that show?
I doubt it. I am sort of thinking he's going to be on the new Superman show.
Because he's going to Metropolis, right?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that one. Mainly because, again, he said he was moving to Metropolis and that there's a new Superman show coming up. So,
okay.
maybe there's going to be a whole thing going on with John Diggle over there. I doubt John Diggle's going to be over in the Green Lantern show over on HBO Max. But it would be interesting if the character has some legs and goes over to that platform. But that's neither here or there right now. The movie itself more likely is canceled. But I want to see how the show does. Definitely do.
Yeah, we need some Green Lantern ladies. Am I right?
We have a shit ton.
Yeah. I only know 2.
Which ones?
The Spanish girl, don't remember her name.
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, Jessica Cruz. And then how they exaggerated her on DC Superhero Girls.
Yeah, I did.
And then the one, remember the 3D animated Green Lantern that DC Universe killed, even though it was good?
Oh, you're talking about Aya.
Yeah.
The computer ship that became Green Lantern.
Yeah, those are the only 2 I know.
Yeah, the Green Lantern animated series was fucking amazing. Sadly, it got canceled.
You know why? Because too many women watched it. Anyway, no.
Gross.
It's why Young Justice went out.
Yeah, it's true.
Too many ladies were watching Young Justice.
It confuses me.
I hope the virus doesn't push back the release date for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now that Fast 9 is gone. Now
that's been done though.
They're still shooting it. They postponed production.
They are?
Yeah.
They're postponing production for every Netflix show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that one. I literally thought Falcon and Winter Soldier was already done.
No.
I thought it was in post production.
No, not yet. Because Fast 9 got delayed till next year. Rest in peace. So this is like the last thing I have to like really look forward to this year. So I'm hoping to God it doesn't get pushed to 2021.
Sucks. I know the Flash got stopped because of coronavirus. So the new episode, the last 17 through 19 got put on pause. So, and like I said, all their shows are done like day of. So
The season wasn't that good anyway.
Ooh. Well, Yoko does have to go.
okay,
But-
sorry.
No. You guys can stay. I just, this was great. I love having you, Frankie. And
We'll have you for the non-existent E3 episode.
yeah, dude, we should have our own E3.
Yo.
It's just dude, this cheap. Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll be done.
Next time.
All right, guys. Everybody, stay safe. Wash your hands. Wash your ass. And good fight. May the power protect you. Thank you. And peace.